hard and all the rest of it. So, just a routine check, okay? The routine matter, all right?
Welcome back to GameVault HQ. Today, we're diving into Sinking Island, a lesser-known gem from legendary adventure game creator Benoît Sokal. Now, if you're into detective stories, especially ones with strong noir vibes, this game might just be your cup of tea. Sinking Island throws you into a murder investigation on a luxury island, owned by a recently deceased billionaire, Walter Jones. What could have been a tropical paradise is slowly sinking into the ocean, much like the credibility of the characters you're forced to interrogate. There's no room for mistakes here. The clock is ticking, both literally and metaphorically, as you're racing against time and the elements. The game's setup is pretty classic: a confined location, a small cast of suspects, and a detective who has to put all the pieces together. You play as Jack Norm, a seasoned private investigator, tasked with solving the mysterious death of Walter Jones, who met his end in suspicious circumstances while working on his towering island retreat. From the get-go, the isolation of the island, coupled with its impending doom, adds a sense of urgency to the case. The characters you interact with all have their secrets, and Sinking Island excels in making you question their motives. Each conversation feels like a tug-of-war between trust and deceit, making every piece of evidence you collect feel earned. One of the most interesting aspects is how the Sinking Island itself impacts the case. You're not just trying to solve a murder, you're racing against nature as the island crumbles around you. On the gameplay side of things, Sinking Island is a point-and-click adventure that relies heavily on investigation mechanics. You'll be collecting evidence, interrogating suspects, and piecing together the timeline of the crime. What stands out here is the PPA, Personal Police Assistant, a tool that acts like a digital notepad, helping you keep track of clues, character relationships, and locations. It's a simple mechanic, but it's crucial for organizing all the information you gather as you move through the game. It's a smart addition that keeps you from getting lost in a sea of details, but it also ensures that you're doing the work yourself rather than letting the game hold your hand. The island serves as an intricate playground for your detective work, with plenty of areas to explore and examine. Each location offers clues, some more obvious than others, and it's up to you to piece them together. While the island isn't massive, the feeling of being trapped on a slowly sinking landmass enhances the tension. It creates an atmosphere that makes even routine interactions feel weightier, knowing that the environment around you is changing. The pacing is intentionally slow, which might not be everyone's taste, but for those who enjoy a good mystery, it feels deliberate. The unfolding of the plot is methodical, giving you the space to really chew on the clues and consider the suspect's actions. You're not racing through action-packed sequences here. Instead, you're piecing together the mystery step by step. For a game that came out in 2007, the visuals hold up decently, though they're far from groundbreaking by today's standards. Sokal's signature art style is present, and the game world has a gritty, almost washed-out look that fits the story's tone. The character models can feel stiff at times, which can break immersion, but the detailed environments more than make up for it. The island itself is a character in its own right, with the architecture of Jones Tower standing in stark contrast to the natural beauty that surrounds it. The sound design, however, is a mixed bag. The voice acting is hit or miss. Some characters are performed well, while others sound flat or awkward, which can pull you out of the story at key moments. The music, on the other hand, fits the tone well. It's atmospheric, leaning into the noir theme without overpowering the experience. There are long stretches where the only sound is the environmental noise, which works to the game's advantage, adding to the tension as the island slowly sinks into the ocean. One of Sinking Island's strongest points is its atmosphere. The crumbling island, the ticking clock, and the web of lies you have to navigate all combine to create a compelling backdrop for a murder mystery. You never quite feel safe or in control, and that's exactly how a good detective game should make you feel. The environmental storytelling is a subtle but effective layer, and it's refreshing that the game doesn't over-explain everything. You're left to connect the dots, which makes the eventual payoff that much more satisfying. Another thing that stands out is the complexity of the case itself. As you uncover more evidence, the story twists and turns, making you rethink your initial assumptions. Each character has their own agenda, and none of them are straightforward, which keeps you on your toes throughout the game. On the downside, Sinking Island can feel slow-paced, especially for players used to modern, fast-moving games. The point-and-click mechanics, while solid, aren't exactly groundbreaking, and the game doesn't offer much in the way of replayability. Once you've solved the case, there's little reason to go back, unless you just want to soak in the atmosphere again. There are also some technical issues that rear their heads, particularly with the voice acting and animations. Characters often feel stiff and lifeless, which can be a jarring contrast to the otherwise rich setting. The dialogue, while serviceable, can sometimes feel stilted or awkwardly paced, which detracts from the overall immersion. If you're a fan of slow-burn mysteries, Sinking Island offers an intriguing story wrapped in a unique setting. The Sinking Island itself is a brilliant narrative device that keeps you on edge throughout the investigation. It's not without its flaws. The pacing and technical limitations might turn off some players, but for those who enjoy methodical detective work, it's a solid adventure. We give Sinking Island a 7 out of 10. That wraps it up for today's review. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to GameVault HQ for more game reviews. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.